Okay, so guys, welcome back. The game is I'm back in Albion Online. Okay, let's go and play it for an hour. Playing Albion Online for an hour. I have to gather 80 tier 2 resources. Which means I have to get out of the zone and go to the open world, if you can call it an open world. So I need to gather tier 2 resources. Okay, so while I'm gathering resources, let's see if, so you see here we have Albion. Let's see if we can watch some content in YouTube as well and react to that while I'm playing. Okay, let's see what's happening with Ashes of Creation. Switching to Dark Team. Ashes of Creation lawsuits expose massive fraud. This is from Legal Mindset. I've already seen this like earlier. Okay, investors expose Ashes of Creation. This is from Yong Ye. And then this one, 18 hours ago from Endymion. Okay, I'm going to watch this one from Endymion. How one single developer killed his game over greed. Oh my goodness. You guys are going to be amazed at what really happened in Ashes of Creation. You wouldn't think that this guy, or the founder of Ashes of Creation, Intrepid Studio, or Studios, is the real villain of the story, allegedly. Okay, so let's listen to what Endymion has to say about this one.
What if I told you the situation surrounding the now dead MMO that was promised to be the next coming of the greatest thing ever, that being Ashes of Creation, just got exposed so badly by its own people and investors that the creator and the founder of Ashes of Creation is now heading towards either going to jail or he's going to be running away for the rest.
According to the latest information, the founder of Ashes of Creation allegedly committed embezzlement up to 140 million US dollars. Wow. That was according to a video that I watched by Legal Mindset.
Developers who had plenty of experience in this space. Now, I don't doubt that at all. I think this story, as you'll see, does not shed a negative light on anyone who worked on this game, besides the guy who assembled everyone and promised them the world. The real-life supervillain at the heart of this whole story is Steven Sheriff. So to catch you up really quickly, Steven Sheriff decided to drop the nuke, that he was leaving behind Intrepid Studios, that the game would cease development entirely, and that all staff would be let go effective immediately. According to Steven Sheriff, it was because the board at Intrepid Studios was doing things that he personally didn't believe in and wanted no part of. The only problem was that Steven Sheriff forgot to mention that the board at Intrepid Studios consisted, as far as anyone knows, of only 2 people. As you can see here from their Kickstarter page, Steven Sheriff and John Moore, who sit at the top of this pyramid of devs, ironically, which I'll get into later that it's shaped like that, were the only members of this board. Also, it was revealed that Steven and John are married as well, meaning that this board was just 2 people in a marriage that held this whole thing together. So Steven alleges that he was leaving the game and studio and just firing everyone, which conveniently meant, due to contracts, according to what has already been discussed, nobody would be getting paid.
Also, in Albion, I'm trying out the Archer build.
As you can
I've
see,
never really played
ashes accumulated
much of
$1 billion from
or as an archer.
Also, as you can see here too, Intrepid Studios confirms that they would refund everyone their money if Ashes of Creation never launched. However, and yes, this is the, oh, it's so scummy, dude, I can't believe this is real, but it turns out that in the fine print, because Ashes of Creation technically was playable by users in early access, which is where the game is right now, by the way.
So I guess technically right now, Ashes of Creation is one of the biggest fraud in the MMORPG industry or market, I think, or allegedly.
It now meant that that money that you backed this game with, it no longer needed to be refunded because you got what you paid for technically. Even
That is what, guys,
that is real.
you never pre-order, okay? You never pre-order.
Now, Steven, so just run away with your sin. What if I told you, though, it gets so much worse, though? Because, guys, this is, I honestly don't know how this guy is going to weasel his way out of this, I got to admit. Because there has now been a bombshell report that is, let's get into it. This is from WCCFTech.com, and it's titled, Ashes of Creation Investor Alleges Founder Orchestrated $140 million Fraud. Yeah, not $3 million.
That was like revealed in the Legal Mindset video that I watched earlier. $140 million embezzlement according to that video, allegedly.
But it's basically the investor just losing his mind about how Steven Sheriff screwed over everyone at $1 million pretty much. So you can go watch that if you want to, but I'll condense what was said here so that it's more digestible. But again, this is Nefast QS's scoop, so I wanted to give them their credit for what they did there, so thanks to them. So this investor is named Jason Karamanis. He's the guy—
Okay, collected the first step, sell 80 items directly to the market. Okay.
Earth here pretty much. Jason apparently made his money through various endeavors of his own, like a Florida-based anti-aging skincare and supplements company. And Jason, like Steven, is also a part of the MLM community, which is short for multi-level marketing, which is, you know, pyramid scheme stuff and all of that stuff. It's scams. That's what MLM is pretty much. Even though these people will never admit it, that is what it is. Anyways, Jason Karamanis claims that he was swindled by Steven Sheriff into investing $12.5 million of his own money into Ashes of Creation. And according to
Okay, we're going to sell things. Click on the button with the red arrow.
get his money back. But the more insane
Okay, and then next, sell resources you have gathered to earn silver.
never once had
Okay, I have like,
Steven a single penny of his own money into Intrepid Studios since the very beginning of all of this. Oh boy, here we go.
so I have
People at
this one.
outside of Kickstarter into giving Steven's MMO project millions of dollars that were meant to turn this game into the supposed massive success story that was meant to rival World of Warcraft. The crazier part is that Steven Sheriff has claimed publicly that he has invested somewhere between 30 to 60
Okay, completed.
own money into this company. But the investors who have the books and all the finances are claiming
So,
investments were never placed into the collective fund that was meant to keep Ashes of Creation alive.
a long time ago, when Ashes of Creation was being, I guess you can say, promoted,
But that Steven and his husband,
the founder of Ashes of Creation,
the only two
said that
to begin with,
the game was fully funded
$500,000
and he invested his own money in Ashes of Creation. But now, according to the lawsuit, allegedly,
for his husband.
the founder of Ashes of Creation never invested anything.
Boy, these two top dogs,
Insane, right? So everything
a single dollar and
this guy said
a fortune off of
were allegedly lies.
was invested for Ashes
Wow.
is allegedly around 109 to 115 million dollars overall based on what I'm reading. That includes the almost $4 million from Kickstarter, which started all of this, by the way. But according to Jason Karamanis, that
Okay, let's go and buy a tier 2 tool. Okay, buy a tier 2 tool from the marketplace.
$1 million from a family friend of like the people who made the game. I'm assuming Steven Sheriff, but anyway, this guy's name is Tom Alkazin. Apparently, that $2 million were the life savings of Tom Alkazin and his wife, who are now in their 70s. That they were also swindled out of their entire life's worth, like money that they have saved by Steven to invest into Ashes of Creation, which they will now, according to Jason, never get back because the entire studio is defunct.
Oh, look at that. No fishing rods.
And John Moore, the married couple, are nowhere to be found right now. The dirt here is that Tom Alkazin is also a multi-market, pyramid schemer as well, who apparently had to pay $1.2 million
Okay, let's go buy a tier 2 tool.
for swindling
Let's buy this one.
from pyramid schemes as well. So Tom Alkazin was also permanently banned from being a part of any
Okay, completed that quest. Claim your reward from each mission in the Albion Journal.
investor named Robert Dawson. And this is crazy, but again, a
Next is catch a fish.
majority of investments when
Catch a fish. Acquire a tier 3 fishing rod.
somewhere near, and I'm not kidding, $80 million in investments of his own money into Intrepid Studios from 2022 to 20.
Okay, let's buy a tier 3
Despite the
fishing rod.
and investor demands, Steven Sheriff allegedly refused to provide books and records, tax returns, or QuickBook files for 9 years. Karamanis
Satisfied?
claims that he was promised a board seat in 2019.
Okay, so where are my rewards?
Straightforward reason, because none were ever called. Do you see how this just keeps getting worse? Like, how did none of the people involved who are investing millions of dollars, by the way, here, never once believe it? That they should maybe, I don't know, confront Steven and his husband about any of this, like person to person. These guys took all your money, they fed you lies for years, and they swindled thousands for almost a decade to now run away with millions of dollars.
Okay, here we have the Albion Journal. What is this?
YouTuber who's-
Okay, let's claim that.
Let me read this for you. Look at this. Do you know how many board meetings I've been to? 0. Do you know how many board meetings he's ever called? 0. The only thing that guy's good at is BSing people. And he might be a good creative director. He might be a good gamer. But everything else is full of you-know-what. But dude, if you thought that was weird and scummy, apparently Steven Sheriff with live
Okay, so what is this? Journeyman bag of silver, and what does it do?
states. The California mansion
A non-tradable consumable item which will reward a large amount of silver when opened. Ooh, okay. What's this?
Karamanis claims that Steven Sheriff and John Moore were originally renting the property, not owning it as many assumed. When they eventually purchased it, the down payment
How do I? Ah, there you go. Use.
or rather the very salaries they were paying.
And this one, a crystallization of ancient wisdom. Is rewards 5,000 combat fame.
Sheriff couldn't refinance due to
Okay.
holding a second position as collateral for company loans. Facing foreclosure, Steven Sheriff turned to his
Nothing good is coming out of Ashes of Creation right now. Nothing good.
another $2 million to save the house. Dude, how did this guy convince these people to keep giving them millions like this? Like this guy and his husband, they were siphoning $500,000 twice a year, and they couldn't find the funds to pay for the house they apparently bought with company funds, by the way, that were meant to
The thing is, guys, the thing is, scammers are very charismatic.
millionaire investors.
They are very charming people. That is how they are able to scam a lot of people. They use their charisma.
Paid for them to live
They use it as a weapon for doing bad things.
It gets worse somehow. I'm not even kidding. Let's keep looking at the report. It then says this. For 2025, Intrepid Studios was hemorrhaging cash at an alarming rate. The company's monthly operating expenses exceeded $2.5 million, while revenue from in-game purchases ranged from $150,000 to $200,000, resulting in a monthly loss of around $2.3 million. At this burn rate, even Robert Dawson's massive capital infusions couldn't sustain the operation indefinitely. How badly was this being managed, guys? Like, they were losing $2.3 million in investments a month, by the way, due to, like, operating costs. So if you take that and you multiply it for a whole year, right? It means that Ashes of Creation was costing investors about $27.6 million a year before taxes at that point to keep it going, which is absolutely insane. And the fact that they were making this $200,000 a month in microtransactions, which, yes, is a lot of money to you and me, but clearly not enough when the CEO and the COO are funneling $500,000 a year for both of them, plus living in a mansion of all things, where they live stream the updates for this game. Like, this was something that was just clearly built on sand from the very beginning. As the report then says here, as you can see, the alpha release of the game was mired in problems, and Stephen Sheriff just conveniently forgot to give the bonuses promised to his game developers, despite them reaching the required threshold, and he eventually delayed these bonuses indefinitely, which then led to another lawsuit where SADH Systems, that's a cloud...
Oh my goodness, how do I fish? Click on a body of water and catch fish.
Just a little bit over $852,630, guys, for almost 3 whole years of unpaid Google Cloud Platform services that, again, Intrepid Studios never paid at all. As seen here, when confronted finally, Stephen Sheriff claimed that the lawsuit was nothing and that the $800,000 owed was what they would make in a week. Stephen promised to pay that, but then, as you know, Ashes of Creation would close down, Stephen would leave the company, and he would take all the money with him while laying off everyone and turning off the servers pretty much. So that $800,000 that Stephen owned SADH Systems has still not been paid apparently, despite Stephen raising more money in the millions from his investors mere weeks before he cut the plug.
Okay, how do you fish?
Stephen Sheriff was able to, according to Jason Karamanis, generate somewhere around $5 million in revenue off only selling roughly about 300,000 copies of Ashes of Creation. So he made a fortune offering an incomplete game. Like, that's the point.
Oh, okay, so fishing is done while not riding.
Ultimatum with Stephen Sheriff.
So if you are riding or if you are mounted, fishing is not gonna activate. So what you need to do is you need to get off your high horse before you can fish. Fortunately, I don't have a high horse, I have a donkey.
Payouts for simply owning the company, but instead his pay would then be tied to the actual performance of Ashes of Creation. This apparently is why Stephen finally decided to just leave the company, shut it all down, and run away into the night pretty much. Because in this new hypothetical structure, he wouldn't be able to just do nothing and sit around and make his money like he used to for the last 9 years. But he would have to, I'll just say it how it is, actually try, and
Oh my goodness, so I have to target the fish.
Was the breaking point for Stephen, because he didn't allegedly want his pay to be based on the performance of the game, because Stephen obviously knew from the beginning that this whole thing was a lie. Jason claims that following this proposal by Richard Dawson and other investors, that Stephen resigned and caused an act of sabotage. Like, look at this. Apparently, Stephen sent a letter of Commerce Bank to Valve and claimed that the Steam revenue from December early access launch to February...
Okay, so that is perfect. Come on, catch the fish. Catch the fish.
Investors to effectively destroy the company from the inside out simply because Richard Dawson, the guy who invested $80 million already, wanted to keep Stephen accountable for his own actions.
So I need to do this 4 times.
Stephen seized the funds, bankrupted the studio overnight, and left, and this, just kind of leaves Richard Dawson, Jason Karamanis, and other investors with pretty much nothing but a dead company where their millions were wasted, and now Stephen and his husband get to run away without paying a single dollar back to anyone. According to Jason, the overwhelming shock of what happened caused him to break down mentally, and investors like Tom Alkison and his wife, who lost their $2 million in investments, will, according to Jason, never recover from this betrayal. And now, being in their 70s, obviously, they will not be able to ever get their money.
Oh my goodness, there is a mini game.
As it reads here, Robert
A
Dawson
mini game to catch a fish.
intellectual property through foreclosure proceedings and his position as a secured creditor. Karamanis holds first position.
Let's see if...
Commerce Bank's involvement, multiple lawsuits are reportedly imminent, including
it works. It works even if there is no fish on the water.
frauded with false revenue reports and numerous other investors. So they allege that Stephen
Okay, I thought it would only work if there is a visible fish on the water, but it works even if there is no fish or visible fish in the water.
showing cash flows and correspondence with Commerce Bank. He has offered to share these materials with content creators and the community to substantiate his claims, and this is what he said. There's nothing I'm saying that is slanderous or libelous about Stephen. He's a pathological nutcase liar, and guess what? You're going to see numerous lawsuits come out against him for fraud, for whatever else. All of this is going to come out in litigation. Apparently, Robert Dawson, the $80 million investor guy, is trying to bring back key developers into the fold to keep working on Ashes of Creation to turn it into something without Stephen Sheriff's involvement, but apparently the staff refuse to work with anyone involved with this mess because they feel as if they've been betrayed, which honestly, they're right that they have been. I mean, come on, look at what I presented here today.
Okay, so why is it the investor's fault?
Knowing how shady everything has been from the very beginning? Probably not, and I don't blame you.
I honestly don't think it's the investor's fault, because the investor was the one
Who bought Ashes of
putting in the money, while this founder of Ashes of the Creation was the one taking all the money. It wasn't the investor's fault.
and his GameFranger.com also reported here. The ex-developers of Ashes have also
The investor is the victim.
everyone else involved because the mass layoff goes against
Not just that investor, but everyone who invested into the game are victims.
required by law in California, where this game was mostly developed, that companies would provide 60 days of notice for workers prior to a mass layoff in a written letter. This is only required if the development studio is over 100 people, which in this case it absolutely was. Here's all the demands, by the way, of this lawsuit, which you can see on screen here.
So if the founder of Ashes of Creation left and everyone else left with him, does that mean that those who left with him are in cahoots? Are they accomplices?
And the players of Ashes
Or accomplices?
they bought into as well. And even then, the money
I don't know.
refundable because the game again technically launched already. If you watch this for, yeah, you're now caught up on everything here pretty much. It's a massive mess, like I told you, and it's all because one game developer decided to use lies and greed to destroy everyone's lives around them just so that he could make off with millions of dollars in his pockets instead. This is the sort of thing where I wouldn't be surprised if Steven is found at some point at the bottom of a lake one day with concrete shoes due to just how angry he's made these people, but I could only really hope that justice is served one day. In a legal sense, I mean, not with the concrete shoes, but you get what I mean. But anyways, what do you think? A lot here, I know, but thanks for watching. Subscribe, see you guys next time, but what a mess.
Okay, look at that. Instead of fish, my avatar, or I caught logs. Someone threw logs into the water. Okay, so that was from Endymion. Here we have the Ashes of Creation from I don't watch the Angry Joe show anymore. I played a scam game for 100 hours. Ashes of Creation is getting sued. Rightfully so. Okay, so it's called here The Steven Files by Kira. This was like 3 days ago. But I haven't seen this one, so I'm going to listen to it while I'm fishing.
Okay, what up, friendos? Welcome back, and it's the day, right? It's D-Day. It's the nukes have all been dropping, and there's going to be more nukes every day from now for probably weeks, because the Ashes of Creation situation is heating up, and there's a lot of stuff we can now talk about, as well as stuff that is come out in lawsuits and stuff that's going to be coming out in lawsuits. It's fucking nuts. So remember when I said this is the craziest story in video game history that I've ever seen? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet, because even all the crazy shit that's just been said on Nefus's live stream and in the video where he's talking to Jason Karamanis, like, this is only part of it, and there's gonna be...
Okay, completed the fishing quest. Yay! Okay, what's next? Unlock tier 3 gathering for and open the destiny board. Destiny board, where is it?
You know, like when you see a rainbow and you're like, oh, is there a pot of gold at the end? Well, for every Kickstarter MMO, at the end, there's just years worth of drama and fucking stuff to watch that has nothing to do with the actual video game, and everything to do with questions like, did he steal money? Who did he steal money from? How much money did he steal? These are all questions that you get at the end of the fucking Kickstarter MMO rainbow. So basically, the news here from Nefus's channel is that Jason Karamanis was involved in the initial funding.
The destiny board. Where is it?
For Ashes of Creation, all the way back in like 2015, 2017, something like that, which obviously was at the very beginning of the inception of the game, and also at a time when Stephen was telling people, oh, there's nobody, it's just me, you know, I'm the only person.
Where is the destiny board?
Corporate overlords or whatever, which is a thing that continued to be said for years and years to come. But we know, obviously, from Jason's lawsuit a year or so ago, whenever it was, that Jason was involved in the company from the beginning, and then obviously these text messages prove this. Now, about a week or so ago, I don't know what the exact date was, I can check my emails. Jason Karamanis sent, it was 10 days ago on February 4th, he sent an email out, I assume to a bunch of content creators, basically saying, here's my number, I've watched your video, contact me if you want to speak to me, and I didn't call him.
Okay, quick learn. Quick learn can be used to boost a
I don't have a US number, I'm based overseas.
destiny board progression.
Makes it difficult, which it does. And honestly, the entire situation is so complex, I prefer to keep things in writing.
Activate quick learn.
When I'm talking about
Quick learn consumes learning points to boost your fame.
phone, and I'm not recording the phone call.
Quick learn. Okay.
Which, to be honest,
Activate.
he might have given me permission. I should have probably asked.
Are you sure you want to activate quick learn? This will automatically spend
Guy told me
learning points.
that can fuck me, so obviously just not something I'm going to do. But obviously Nefus did do this. He got in contact with him, he sent him a bunch of text messages, and the text messages are fucking cringe. I'm just going to throw that one out there, go watch it if you want. It's a 1 hour 20-minute long video, and the text messages are cringe. It's embarrassing, and it's embarrassing because when I think of how high net worth individuals interact with each other and like business deals,
Activate quick learn on the destiny board.
a nice suit, a tailored suit,
Okay, again, how do I do that again? Quick learn.
something wildly expensive like that in a great restaurant. Maybe they've got imported Cuban cigar, you know, it's illegal, who cares, they're rich. Maybe they've got a nice glass of expensive old cognac, maybe a really expensive bottle of red wine.
Unlock any tier 3 gathering node.
Messages look like
Unlock any tier 3 gathering node.
it's so bad. So it's incredibly cringe, but obviously there's a bunch of info in here with conversations between Jason and Stephen going all the way back to
Trainee
all the way to
gatherer.
2021 is where things end up.
Journeyman.
The thing is that it goes
Warrior.
really nice and pleasant to each other. You know, there's a bunch of hype, there's a bunch of happiness. You know, things are going great, and then it gets bad, and then it gets good, and then it gets really bad, and then it gets good, then it gets really, really bad, and then by the end of it, in like 2021, they're like okay again. And then obviously
Tier 3 gathering node.
the story ends there from up until when he gets on the live stream with Nefus again and talks about some stuff going forward. But he's not directly involved with the stuff going forward because he wasn't on the board. He was just an investor by that point, whereas the board is multiple other people, not Jason, so he was kind of in the dark. But the text ends at, like, the texts between Jason and Stephen end here, and then obviously their relationship sours again later because he then, as we know later, sues Intrepid, and relationships break down completely, and fucking the company implodes within a year or so of that lawsuit. I can't remember specifically when that was filed, but it's not super far away time-wise. But then he went on live stream with Nefes after this video went live. He was on the phone, Jason was on the phone, and he was asking him a bunch of questions, and he was giving his side, and the board side, or at least Robert's side, who's the person who primarily owns Intrepid now, if you didn't know. He's like 60-something% ownership of the company. So right now, what we have is a worker lawsuit against Intrepid, which is Intrepid the business entity, which you have to remember, obviously, this is not against any individual. That's Intrepid the business entity because the business entity owes money to these workers. Then we have a lawsuit I'm about to go over in a second. That's from TFE Game Holdings, which is...
Okay, I need to find a tier 3.
So that's another, like,
A tier 3.
And what they're making claims of is fucking nuts, which, again, I'll go over in a second. And then, obviously, eventually, I'm assuming we're going to get Steven's side of the story. And then there's other factions within this that have not been made public yet, which are other smaller investor groups and things of that nature. So there's like a million fucking things still to come from this point, is basically the long and short of what I'm telling you right now. And those million things are going to come up, and they are pretty much all going to be legal filings. So they're going to be incredibly dry to go over. And this is the first incredibly dry one to go over, which is the TFE Game Holdings LLC, Delaware Limited Liability Company versus Stephen Sharif and John Moore. Now, I don't know why they're listed as Nevada residents. I don't know why this is filed in Nevada state court and not California or federal court. I'm not a lawyer, so you're gonna have to, like, just figure this one out on your own, I guess. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me, and you...
Okay, needs a novice pickaxe.
This venue are, like, the number one reason why cases get thrown out. I imagine since these people are rich and are very involved in litigation, as in these people have been sued, like everyone involved in this has been sued multiple times by multiple people. I imagine they know, so, you know, take that for what you will. But the claims being made in here are fucking crazy. Now, I do have to give the caveat that this is people saying, from my perspective, these people did this thing. There is no evidence in this entire document. Like, you can read this the whole time. There isn't a single text message, email, financial statement, nothing. It's literally just saying, we think these people did these things, but we provide absolutely zero evidence. There's no dates in here of exactly when things happened. The only thing is, like, some specific numbers. But the big...
So basically I need to find a tier 3 node.
Money from the company, and they're not saying they embezzled small amounts of money, they're saying they embezzled tens of millions of dollars, which is a fucking crazy claim to make, and especially one where there's currently, you know, when you go through a lawsuit, usually the issue is that the filing and then the evidence that follows on and exhibits that usually come with the filing. There's no guarantee everything's been uploaded, anything's been provided initially, or that you're going to see those things for weeks or usually months, especially state court, because state court is just absolutely rammed. This can be fucking ages before anything happens to it. But the only exhibits they showed with these, with this filing is listed here, and it's not in this PDF, it's in another book. Trust me, it's not even worth looking at, there's nothing in there. Exhibit 1, 2, and 3, and it's just a list of tech platforms that they don't have access to, which is one of the claims. One of the claims is Stephen resigned from the company and he has all of this login information for all of these tech platforms that we need so that we can continue operation of the company. And by continue operation of the company, I mean close the company, which is what they're doing. It's what the plan always was. And that's one of the things they're suing him for. Then they list that there's a bunch of bank accounts and third-party vendors that they don't have, like, invoices for, records for, access to these credit cards and banks, and they're suing him for breach of fiduciary responsibility for not handing that stuff over. But then the big claims that they make is literal crime. They're accusing him of embezzlement, which is a federal offence, and they're accusing him of misappropriating, which is a really fancy term for basically you fucking used or taken this money. they are accusing him, him being Stephen, and of course John as well, of misappropriating $17.4 million, which, if true, is a fucking crazy sum of money. Now, again, there is no evidence of this, but specifically how they say that this was done is that they used excessive personal loans to certain shareholders with no documentation and no repayment, direct transfers to shareholders with no stated business purpose, direct transfers to miscellaneous accounts with no stated business purpose, and miscellaneous personal expenses charged to Intrepid's credit cards and or defendant Sharif's personal credit card that was then reimbursed by Intrepid. And they say that this is also commingled funds between basically Stephen's personal funds and the company funds. But the craziest thing they accuse them of is taking millions of dollars out of the company to buy a property and then sell the property and not pay back the company, which is absolutely fucking nuts. They also say that they gave themselves loans from the company and then never paid it back. Like they say here, Stephen had what they funnily call the Sharif loans, which is fucking hilarious. They say the Sharif loans, $362,524.15, and then the Moore loans, $6.68 million. And there's actually a really funny element of this where they say that the Sharif transfers were received and enjoyed by the defendant Sharif. And it's like, they're talking about $4.8 million. Yeah, if I transferred myself $4.8 million, I'd enjoy it as well. As I'm sure you guys would. But obviously there's crazy claims in here. Like this is the one. To date, Sharif failed to dispute the total amount of money owed for the Sharif transfers. And there's okay, if you want like the actual analysis and not just lol, it's funny that they're saying Sharif transfers. When somebody in a lawsuit says, upon information and belief, that might as well say, I think, right? So they're not even saying we have evidence of this. They're just saying, oh, I think this happened. But they, one, provided no evidence, and they're not even using language that says that they know. They just say, oh, we think this happened, or we're suspicious that this happened, might be more accurate. So upon information and belief, defendant Sharif also caused Intrepid to take out a loan to purchase real property, as in real estate, in San Diego, California, aka the property. And upon information and belief, defendant Sharif identified Intrepid's investment as revenue in order to obtain the loan to purchase the property, which I think this, if true, is a crime. And then, of course, it does go over here that apparently they sold the property for $8.5 million and then didn't pay the company back. So that would be saying, oh, he pocketed $8.5 million. Like, oh, I'm taking a loan out the company to buy this thing, and then I'm selling the thing, and I'm keeping the money. That's a crime. If true, absolutely nuts. And obviously there is an amendment of the timeline here in terms of what the public believed due to what the employees at the time believed. So what employees believed and what the public was talking about is that Stephen Sharif resigned from the studio on like the 28th or whatever, because you remember the timeline was like, I've got something in my eye. I was downstairs cleaning, my cat's knocked like washing liquid fucking everywhere. But basically the public narrative was like,
oh, look at that, my character has cape.
many dates in my brain.
Yeah,
From the meeting,
yes, cape. How do I sort this?
left down to 70 to 100 employees, and everyone else will be no PTO.
Sort? Options? Sort? Okay, there you go, sorted.
The game for cheaper, right? That's what people believed. In reality, Stephen resigned on the 19th of January. He'd been gone from the company by the time this meeting even happened for like 10 days or something. And this is in the file, and you can see here they're talking about the Steam funds here. So defendant Sharif received a notice from Steam Valve Commerce on January 18th, 2026 that provided Intrepid's secured creditor would be taking $3.5 million receivable, aka the Steam notice, that the plaintiff was relying on to pay Intrepid's employees and creditors. What they mean by this is when Valve froze the Steam funds, it was because the secured creditor, aka the bank, this is what happened. The bank contacted Valve and said, that's our money. So Valve said, okay, we're freezing the funds to determine whose money it is. And then the day after, according to this timeline, Stephen resigned. Now, obviously, the timing of this is incredibly sketch.
Okay, why is this red?
Exactly why it happened with this time frame, because there's just almost no info here other than the real date of resignation. But I can now talk about obviously what was the real plan and what the public didn't know, just because this date is now public. Intrepid was never going to exist after this point. I think Jason.
Okay, I have a journeyman fishing rod. I have two journeyman fishing rods, beginner and novice.
Like, even if the Valve money didn't go away, everything like that, Intrepid was going to be closed because they already made this new company. This TFE Game Holdings that's filing this lawsuit had already been created and was spun up specifically to fire everybody in Intrepid and then rehire 70 to 100 of the key staff into the new company where they'd... I don't know why you do this in terms of like a business decision. I'm sure it's something to do with debt or whatever, but they were going to close the Intrepid company down, move everything that was valuable and rehire staff into this new company, TFE Games Holding, and then develop the game from there. So Intrepid was going away. It was just that obviously people didn't know this until now. But either way, that's like all we get from the lawsuit. There's really nothing. The other claims are basically the same thing. Breach of contract, as in they think that there's a contract here between a loan from Intrepid to Moore and a loan from Intrepid to Stephen for combined like $7 million that's not been paid back. But they don't provide the loans in here. There's no agreements in here to look at. There's literally nothing. The other claims for relief from unjust enrichment, claims for relief from unjust enrichment for John, and then just basically saying, oh, we also want an injunction and we also want money. We want legal fees for our attorneys and things like that. So as a lawsuit, it's actually kind of a boring one, even though some of the claims are fucking insane. Like, obviously, you embezzled tens of millions of dollars from the company. It's a crazy claim to make. It's just a shame that there is zero evidence in the entire filing. And with it being state court, there could be zero evidence in this for fucking months. So right now, it's kind of a nothing burger. Obviously, the more juicy, interesting element is the text messages between Jason and Stephen, as well as the fact that it seems like Jason's going to continue releasing things, which is weird. And you know why it's weird? Because you never see anyone do that. And the reason you never see anyone do that is because anytime you put stuff into the public, you harm your ability to sue people. Because they have all the things that you're presenting and they can prepare a defense for it already. So if you do sue somebody after you put all this stuff into the public, it's like a bad idea. It's typically why when you're getting sued, the first thing a lawyer will tell you is to just shut the fuck up and don't talk about it. But since lawsuits are already flying, I would expect more within the coming days, because the way that these things go is people are sort of like holding their cards, like who's going to go first, you know, who's going to be involved, are we going to see the sides, which evidence is going to be presented, can I file a lawsuit in this jurisdiction before they, like, you're going to see everything implode now, more so than you already saw an implosion of the fucking entire company shitting itself to death. But there is a reason I said this was going to be the biggest drama in gaming ever, because we've now seen some lawsuits with very little information, one side of the story from Jason, and now it's expected that everyone else's side is going to come out, because again, there isn't just two factions in this. There's not even just two factions in it on the face of it. You've obviously got the public, you've got the employees, you've got Stephen and his side, you've got the board and their side. Right now, we've not even heard from 90% of the board. In fact, we've heard of no one from the board other than the TFE Game Holdings, which is Rob. And Rob obviously was previously not known to exist, but since Jason's talked about Rob, I guess I can as well. And then Jason, who is an investor, wasn't on the board, but there's also other investors, and they are in factions as well. So it's gonna be a crazy couple days and a crazy upcoming couple weeks. So obviously stay tuned.
It's gonna be crazy,
guys. It's just gonna be fucking nuts from here on out, more so than it already was. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and see you in the next couple of days with more Ashes of Creation and what people are now lovingly referring to as the Stephen Files. So yeah, see you on the next one. Stay safe. We out. Peace.
So again, right now, this is one of the biggest mishap when it comes to the gaming or MMORPG Kickstarter drama. Imagine if Star Citizen was actually a scam as well. Oh my goodness, that is like almost $1 billion game.
Where it's going to eventually be closed down.
Okay, we're back to the ashes of creation. Staff are leaking. What are they leaking? They're leaking their tears. Tears are getting leaked. As of creation, they stole millions. Yeah, it's an you could say that again. Okay, so what? There are no new things. Impossible. Okay, let's see what's been posted today. 10 hours ago. The embezzlement allegations are getting serious. Okay, let's go check this one out.
Do you know from the look at the QuickBooks if they were still collecting pay when employees can no longer be paid? When
100%. They were collecting pay up until all last month. And all of January, they're taking out money.
even during the times back.
Who is he talking to? Is he talking to the founder of Ashes of Creation?
I'll text this to you while we're on the phone.
Sure.
Okay. Hey, Casper.
Hey Jason, you down to answer some questions?
Yeah, you're still streaming. I was watching earlier, so.
Yeah, we're still streaming.
Okay, cool. How you doing?
Good. You just have what?
No, I'm good. No, go ahead.
So we just reviewed the letter to Valve and the TFE Games Holdings lawsuit and these other lawsuits. Do you think that you will get money from Valve? Because I don't see it likely personally.
My letter was mainly to stop it from going to.
I see.
Any of the money is going to Commerce Bank because the Valve money was basically not for me to take, okay, and I communicated with Rob Dawson before I sent the letter from my attorneys. Basically, I got contacted about somewhere like around the 27th or 28th of January about this. I didn't even know anything before. There was a plan to invest more monies on all of the investors. We were on a call around the 15th or 16th, and it was a combination of investors. There are those people that actually invested in the money into the company, and then there were creditors, and 90% of the people were creditors, meaning they're all loan documents. Whether there's a lineup of who gets what first of the assets.
Sure.
Okay, so people don't know this and they have to understand. It's like if you have a house and you own a house and you don't pay cash for the house, but you borrow money. You have a first trustee loan, and then you have a second trustee loan if you want to get a second, and then you can get a third and a fourth, and so on and so on.
Oh, my axe broke. Okay,
The fourth,
I guess I have to go back and
you default on
fix my axe.
person in as the first loan.
Also, I think this guy is talking to is the founder of Ashes of Creation.
I was in first position with all of my pledge of security agreements because
They are having a conversation. I'm not sure if the founder of Ashes of Creation knows if he is being live streamed.
and other collectors, they have agreements that secured creditors. The people would be in third, and it's just a lineup of timing, and then you get notice through your UCC code. So pretty much, I talked to Rob because I was the head of Commerce Bank. I told Rob, I said, this is bullshit. So I said, okay, we're going to send the letters to Valve to protect our interests that money from Steam was directly supposed to go to pay the employees, okay? And that was what was told on a call on January 16th to all 16, 17 people that had lent the company money or invested into the company.
Okay.
So when we found out that Commerce Bank was trying to get the money, that's why we sent the letter to stop it from happening.
Okay. People want to ask if you do still.
Okay, so where do I fix?
The TFE game holding lawsuit kind of said, yeah, we needed those records and funds to pay the employees, but do you know if Rob Dawson still plans to pay the employees?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Like, everything is out of my,
Your.
my paper.
Okay.
There's a few, you've given a few people that I've said that if they inform them.
Okay, found the repair station. Repair all.
Problem is that I have not been on the board. I was never added to the board. I was supposed to be 6-7 years ago when I was asking
Beginner.
to books and records, but that was
Not enough focus. Upgrade. Okay.
until
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't agree with you on one thing. I don't believe that the game was a scam. I believe Steven was the scam. But so if you say, okay, did he create a big, huge company and make it a scam? No, I think what he did is that he lived his comfortable lifestyle and portrayed like he was a big fucking baller and a big boss on all of our monies. You know, $110 million of normal people's money, and then probably another $10 to $12 million on bank loans money, and then all the gamers that put in money in the beginning with, you know, the Kickstarter and leading up to everyone that bought anything on products. So I believe that Steven just enjoyed sitting in his big house in San Diego acting like a big baller. So, you know.
We used to be able to make a case that if he's making this company and he's embezzling money, that it was still a scam because he essentially got personal funds out of it.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I don't look at. And as I said, I
Sure.
tell you when I agree with you and I don't agree with you. I don't believe just the graphic interface alone of that
Strike true.
is an amazing, you know, portrayal of what the engineers have done and what the coders have done and what all the players have done. I think it's an amazing. I just believe it's an amazing thing that got put together, and it's a shame that, you know, there's some people that I won't mention their names, but I've talked to people that were lead engineers, and we've had some open dialogue, and they feel the same thing about Steven now that Steven has been unmasked. They're like, you know, you have to understand something.
Okay, so I was wrong. It's not the founder, based on their discussion.
Probably $150,000 or $160,000 a year,
Okay.
$200,000 a year in salaries working for him. So this guy was their boss. So Steven never went out and said,
Need something
"Oh, well,
cut?"
you know, yeah, I'm broke, and by the way, you know, I mean, it's like I'm using borrowed money to pay all my bills," because he wanted the image that he's some super successful dude and has millions of dollars in the bank. So if you're working for this guy, you think that he's paying all the bills and everything. So, you know, even though this guy might be a Fruit Loop, and this guy might, you know, and you want to argue with the guy, he's your boss, and he's paying your check every week.
sure, I get that.
You know, so I don't think that what all these programmers and all the
Some quick questions, rapid fire questions here. First, do you have an idea? And this is my personal question. Do you have an idea when we would be able to talk to Rob, or if he's interested? I know you mentioned he's a little iffy.
Wait. Keep in mind, guys, Jason is going to say what you can to save Jason's still in MLM. Yeah, fuck that. I don't give a shit about MLM. So, yeah, I make money from it, but I love how these people just write shit. They don't know anything about me.
Well, let's stay on track. Do you think we'll be able to talk to Rob Dawson, or I can talk to him with you?
I have no idea.
Okay.
You know, I'm being blunt. I feel even worse now because Rob's a very private guy. And look, and he's already upset that his name's all over the stuff, and I don't want to talk about Rob anymore. What Rob wants to do is that it's, everyone at this point is lawyering up, and so I'm not.
Okay.
I'm preparing my lawsuit at this current moment in time, and it's going to take me a week to 2 weeks to put it all together in timelines that I'm following.
All right. Let's just do some more questions here. Did you ever send internal emails to the Intrepid team with the email handle Niall Dissent?
No, I've never spoken to anybody at Intrepid up until 3 days ago when you gave a couple of people my number that reached out to you. I've never spoken to one person that works inside of Intrepid.
Okay. Is there any talk yet of investors, not necessarily the board, getting together for any joint suit or legal maneuverings? Or are the law?
I think everyone's on their own. So
okay. Okay. How were you supposed to get all the loans back? Was it on release or? I mean, I know for you it was like separate. How was everyone supposed to get all the loan payments back? Was it supposed to be on release of the game or?
Yeah, well, it's like the company basically generates. Here's what happens: the company, let's say, generates. Let's say the company really launched correctly, and you have a user base of millions of people, and you have a million people spending $15 a month. That's $15 a month. That's $15 million a month in revenue. And then minus out your operating expenses. Let's say you got $2 to $3 to $4 million a month. Well, then you have extra $10 million to start paying everyone back.
I guess right now, since there are already lawsuits being filed, anything they say doesn't mean anything, I guess.
Asking, where did investors?
Because once the lawsuits are in the courts, then
if I was involved in this company 4 or 5
the truth will eventually come out.
I believe that this company would still be 100% up and running operational, probably already gone to launch, and probably everyone would be happy, and none of this shit would be happening. Steven caused all this.
Okay. Let's see. Can you, would it be better if you or someone else, like the other investors like Rob, got directly in touch with employees to discuss the current circumstances before the Warrant Act? Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to a couple, and it sounds like I'm kind of down in an island on my own.
Sure.
It's like my own things that I'm dealing with. I don't know how the other investors are going to handle or shareholders. I uncovered in the last 3 days nasty shit. With Stephen Pan, his family members, his mother. One of the original investors of why I put my money in Tom Invest the Outcast, and they lied about putting in the money that they put in, and they also, Stephen sent them over $750,000 of, at that time, probably my money or other investor money to give them money and call them consultants, and they're pieces of shit in multi-level marketing. I mean, look, I'm not going to talk about whether I love multi-level marketing or whether I don't.
Sure.
A lot of money in it, but that's a whole other dynamic. But these people, like, if I was paid to be a consultant for Intrepid or Actives, okay, I would be the scammer because I would be taking money out to pay myself when I know absolutely fucking nothing at all about the gaming sector. So why would other people that claim to be investors in the company, and what is the reason why I put my original monies in 2017? Why would they be paid $30,000, $40,000 consulting fees to consult on what?
Right.
I mean, they just stole some of the money out of the companies that they put in, probably because they were begging Steven because they're broke, for money to pay him, and Steve felt bad because they're his mom's best friend.
Okay.
This is the circle jerk that everyone's doing. So I found out about that. Oh, and then I found out that he paid his mom $1.3 million.
Okay. And you said you would forward the documents to me, right? About the fraud, the embezzlement.
Basically, all I have is the QuickBooks file.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going through that, and then once I file my lawsuit, that's all going to be in there. I'm going to show exactly.
Okay. So we're gonna wait for your lawsuit for the QuickBooks files.
The CFE lawsuit pretty much corroborates because they have the documents before I do.
Okay. So we're gonna find out more from your lawsuit.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll wait for that lawsuit essentially instead of you giving me the pick file. Okay, perfect. What would you prefer? Selling the IP and wiping your hands clean, or trying to finish the game with the other investors under a new entity? If you have the choice.
I'd like to see the game come to fruition. I think it's just sad. It's just fucking.
Sure.
It's just sad because I think people did spend all their time and energy for this just to be flushed down the toilet. I was planning on coming up with 25% of my, what I told you before, 25.
Whoa! Mastery achieved. Become a gathering upgrade to premium now for 50% yield.
To stay in.
Okay.
Having any rights.
What does it mean?
Come up with 25%. It's like doing a capital call,
Sure.
for people to stay in the business. And so I was prepared to put up more money. I
Okay.
can't afford it all right now, but I'll be in.
Someone wanted to ask, do you ever watch any of the monthly development live streams? And did you ever hear Steven tell the audience he was funding the game himself?
Yeah, all the time. That's why I was that's why when this thing fell apart, I'm like, what? He's just a cockroach. It's like, yeah, I mean, of course.
Okay. Let's see.
So basically, they knew that the founder of Ash's Creation kept saying that he funded the game itself and they did nothing.
$30 million into the company.
They knew that the founder was saying that even though it was a lie and they did nothing.
Revealing yourself.
Wow, okay.
Everything went downhill.
You know what? In a public setting like this, no, because
Right.
like other people, not really. I really didn't care about being public. You know why? Because then I get people back. I get enough people that hate me already in my own industry of multi-level marketing because they're like, Jason, blah, 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 blah. You can go Google all the shit about me and find out blah, 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 blah. I got enough haters already. And I'm just like, I'm trying to just be at home with my new wife and my new baby. And,
Sure.
I didn't want, but I couldn't just sit back and allow Steven to go out there and talk more shit after I knew everything he was saying was a lie. That's why we shut up.
Right. Do you feel better after venting and seeing the community?
Oh crap, my axe broke again. Maybe I need to bring more axes.
It helps me, helps everyone else. I don't want to feel like I'm unveiling, like, there's no Wizard of Oz, there's no Santa Claus, or there's no
Sure.
Easter Bunny. But at the end of the day, Steven just ran a big old lie to make himself look like a demigod. And he has a narcissistic personality disorder, even after talking to a couple of employees, lead engineers and other people that reached out to me, that this guy has a serious problem, man. This guy is demented. He has like a schizophrenia, split personality. He needs to be locked up in an asylum like his brother Mark. His brother Mark's in an asylum.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. That's actually dead serious.
Yeah.
His brother Mark is in an asylum. His two brothers, Tim, who I've only met once, and Mark, who I've met many times. And Mark is out the deep end, but they're all,
Sure.
Yeah.
What is your relationship to Stephen Sharif's mother, Sharon? Who is she? How long have you known each other?
Sharon, I met 20 some odd years ago, and I thought we were good friends, but actually now, she's gonna get her ass sued by me, so
I see.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, she's done in my book. She's full of shit. She told me her son was worth millions and millions of dollars. He's worth zero. So, it's all a family bullshit lie. This whole thing was all bullshit. Like, Steven never had any money. He's just like, he had an idea, and he got a couple people that he knew that had money to believe in him, and he was able to hire in the beginning a couple good people that are around him, and he bullshitted them, and he was going to build this big dream, and he did a good job. People think I'm a good salesman. Fuck, he's way better than me.
Okay. You mentioned previously that Steven and John got $50K a month, which shouldn't be $500. It should be $600K a year. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know what they got because they did so many commingling.
I see.
Between when I'm looking on the QuickBooks, there's money going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out of all their accounts, their personal accounts. So they would have monies going in and out, but there's so much money that went out of the company into their own personal bank accounts that you can't tell what is for business and what's not. And then there's notes like shareholder distribution. I mean, how do you take the shareholder distribution when pretty much you know, have no profitability to take the distribution? So you're borrowing money, okay, from people, namely me and others in the beginning, and you write yourself a check and you call it a shareholder distribution. On top of that, they were also listed on payroll as well. So, you know, I mean, yeah, it's like, you know, and then I found out some other shit that I'm going through right now that they were collectors, they like to collect shit, and I found some documentation of some stuff that will come out in my lawsuit where there's some company that they wrote a couple checks to some company that John Moore owned for I don't know what purposes. Then they also would buy some paraphernalia on auctions, like a samurai sword,
Okay.
or something. And I remember when I went to their house, he had a room with all this old paraphernalia stuff, and I was like, wow, that's all really cool. They had some really weird stuff, like, you know, I mean, creepy stuff, but they had like some guy that was like, and this is not inside, they're out there, some guy that was like a member of the Hitler's SS.
Okay.
Where they had like the guy's uniform and a ring. Okay. So, you know, they had some, you know, some samurai swords. They had some. This was like, you know, because they were gamers and they had all this gamer shit and shit. They had a room full of all this stuff, and, you know, and they probably bought all that shit with all fucking, you know, money stolen from me and other people that put in money in their company.
Okay. So they were just frivolous with their spending, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what the lawsuit from TFE alleges, like, you know, they embezzled and they spent it on whatever without, you know, no one knowing. Do you have the same opinion as me regarding Steven not being in the country anymore? Because I
don't think the guy, where's the guy gonna hide under a rock? No, he's probably, you know, sitting in his mom's house crying, you know. Love my world, I'm so fucked up. Yeah, he's a pussy. He's just he's a fucking liar.
Okay. You don't think there's a chance that he left the country? I think he did. I think he did. There's no way I'm saying if I did what he did, you know.
No, I hope the guy pops his head up on the internet. I hope he calls you. I just want him to fake the piece of shit. I mean, I'm like, okay, let's like, what can he say? 'Cause I'm going off all my stuff is factual. What's he gonna say? Oh, I'm sorry for lying to the community. What he should come out and say to make himself feel better is, I'm sorry for lying to the community. I never had any of my own money. I might have put in $500,000 of my own money, and that's all I had in the beginning. And pretty much I borrowed money from my friends, my family, my brothers, my mom, other people, you know, and then I started getting investors, and I got this group and this group and this group, and then I was broke, and I had to continue asking Jason for money, and then I asked Jason to borrow money from his friends, and then pretty much at this point in time, Jason introduced me. Then I got a couple other people that I met that believed in the game, and they gave me money. Why don't you come out and just tell the truth? I say, Steven, get out there, tell the truth about what you did, and, you know, and maybe that you would save yourself pretty much a lot of, you know, more being beat up by other people by just telling the truth.
Okay. You know, a lot of the questions right now have to do with the game itself, and I know you've said everyone's lawyering up and turtling up, but there are a lot of interested parties.
I don't think Jason is a good person. If such a thing even exists, but he's raw, blunt, honestly, so refreshing. Well, okay, whether you think I'm a good person or not, yeah, I'm blunt, and that's the problem. You know, like, you know, I have another friend of mine, he's an asshole on the internet. You can go look him up. His name's Dan Penman. Okay, he's a jerk. But bottom line is the guy's blunt. Most of what he says is true. So, okay, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, a lot of people are just really concerned with the IP itself, the game itself. There's people trying to develop the game and or make an emulator. Is there something in regards to that you would know?
I have no idea. I'm looking at it, I mean, like a copy package.
Yeah, basically, like they wanna keep it alive. They wanna help if they can't officially. Would you be aware if
Someone made
Rob?
a comment that I have no idea.
Okay.
But someone made a comment on the video that I called into, and I thought it was really cool. It's like, why don't you make matches and open up like an
Open source?
open source code?
Sure.
I think that would be good. I mean, you know, you could play the game for free, turn it over to all the. That would be cool. You know,
Okay.
I actually think what they should do is open source it and then figure out a way to tokenize it on the blockchain, and then figure out a way for people to pretty much, you know, grow the token on the blockchain. But
Okay.
I'm also a crypto bull, so there you go. No, I will never start streaming. Right now, the only guy that I'm talking to is Casper.
Someone's got a very blunt question for you. You did not know Steven when this started. Only his mom from MLM.
No, that's not true. I knew Steven, the company didn't start until I think the end of whenever the first filing of, they filed in terms of fees. I think it was in 2015.
Okay.
I knew Steven from the text messages that I sent. I've known Steven since 2014.
Okay. Okay. No, they meant like before it started. So as a seasoned MLM person, Jason, that made your money off of others, how the hell could a person like you be scammed for 8 years by someone like Steven? That does not come across as a bright crayon. Sorry, the sharpest tool.
You know, yeah, I'm not the sharpest tool shed. Because here's what happens, and this happened before. I was making a lot of money, and I probably was making too much money for my own good. And I filed, people don't know, but, you know, I filed bankruptcy when I was 24. I lived out of my car for 4 months, and pretty much, you know, struggled. And so, someone believed in me and helped me out. So I like to help people, probably to my own detriment. Even my wife doesn't like all the people that I help out in my life. But when Steven came to me, I believed the story that you all believe, that he had, you know, all this money and he was a successful, you know, internet gamer, and he was a gambler and he made all this money. And, you know, so, you know, what I should have done is, can I please see your tax returns? Can I look at your bank statements? Can I see what you really have? Do you own your own property that you were at that time renting the property in San Diego that he now sold? He was renting it. Well, you show up at someone's house and, you know, have you ever been to someone's house and go, oh, are you renting or do you own this thing? No, it's just like, you know, it's like you don't have those kind of questions. So, you know, I just assumed that he owned this big baller house and that he had money. And some other people that I found out that also embezzled money, Tom and Bethany Alcazan, pretty much, and you know, they put in money, but not what they said they put in. And then Steven was paying them consulting fees, you know, $20,000 to $30,000 a month. So, you know, and then he wrote checks out to give his mom for, you know, $1.3 million. You know, you know. So why are you writing checks to your mom? Why are you writing checks back to an investor that's not even a creditor? Okay, and this is after I took money out of my 401k, after I gave him the $300,000, after when I was begging for him to send me that money back when I was in dire straits. So, you know, then he would threaten me like he did. He played chicken. And when you have, and this is around the time where I'm already into like $7 million.
Sure.
Okay. And he would basically say, well, you know what? I'm just going to walk away. You know, and he would do that over and over and over. You know, and there are some text messages that I think you have read. You can find it there, Casper, and put it up while we're chatting. But there was some shit about, like, well, the company's only worth now $150,000 and I got nothing.
Sure.
I don't know where they're at. Well, you know, and it's like, you know, what do you do at that point when you're already in stuff for $7 million and he's telling you that he has no money? And if you don't keep it going, you're going to lose your $7 million. So at this point in time, I'm like, okay, I'll come up with more. And you know, it's just like, I went as deep as I could.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, some guy, I have personally met Tom Alcaz, who was being his number one earner. Yeah, he's a fucking cockroach and a piece of shit. And I wrote him a text message telling him that to his face.
Okay. So Rob and the other investors offered Steven to be the creative director and be compensated based on how well the product is doing. Would that still be something?
100%.
Would that still be something you consider for a new person or a new team? Because a lot of people are very insistent that this still has a lot of potential, even if it's.
I think yeah, but I mean, all I will say is since his name's already out there, Rob is not happy with me because I mentioned his name publicly to all of you, and he's 10 times, he's a very private person.
Sure.
He owns a lot of different businesses, and he doesn't want his name to be associated with this publicly. But his lawsuits and other thing are already out there, and I mean,
Yeah, it's all public.
I explained to Rob, everyone's on his side and my side.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says, was Jeff Barden an investor? I've heard that guy's name, but no, he's not an investor, nor does he own anything. I don't know that name, but I've heard him.
Developer is an employee.
Yeah, he's an employee. No, he was not.
Yeah.
No employees were investors.
Yeah. All right. I think that's. Let's see. I think that's all the questions we had at the moment, or people had at the moment. The other questions are more tech-related stuff that you wouldn't know. Oh, Karen Borrego. Do you know Karen Borrego personally?
I think I've spoken to her once.
I see.
Karen Britt, the company name at the time was in. It's all these people that know each other from, from the multi-level marketing industry. I mean, it's like Steven once said. Steven literally told me, hey, Jason, because the gamers hate multi-level marketing, if you ever came out and people ever heard you, they would basically want to, throw away the game and never play it ever again because they hate multi-level marketing. They think they're all scam. And I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, it's like, so I put money into something and someone wants to blame me for how I made my money. Okay, fine. I mean, but that was the reason why Steven would always say, Jason, I don't want you involved. I never want you to meet anybody. There were times where I said, hey, I want to come down and I want to meet, I want to meet the team. I want to talk to people. And then you wouldn't allow me to come down there and meet people.
Okay. Someone asked if it's too late to invest.
Yeah, I would say go buy Bitcoin, gold, or silver. They're all, not here.
Okay. If the community wanted to help provide funding to keep the project alive, how would they approach this? Well,
I have no idea. I mean, I think right now, there's the guy in charge who doesn't want me talking about him much right now, is making a lot of decisions with his inner circle.
sure.
And
So I didn't realize this interview was like very long.
Sure.
with the company since ever.
Okay. There's another question I saw.
Did Steven lay out all the employees with the board, Rob? So yes, okay. So I'm not on the board. And the board, Steven was on the board. So when Steven says, well, the board made a decision. When Steven was on that call with all the investors and the creditors in January 15th or 16th, I forgot the day, they sent out, and we all did a Zoom call. And Steven got greedy and decided to fucking play chicken with Rob. And you have to understand, we've been playing this game with Steven for the last 8 years.
Uh-huh.
Where Steven would last minute say, send me money, send me money, send me money, send me money. Okay?
Sure.
And it's like, I got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. And it's like, I don't have that kind of money. I don't care what, how much money I have. I don't have that kind of money. Okay? And Rob, okay, he has some money, but he doesn't have that kind of money either to spend, $80 million.
Right.
Do I believe that Bitcoin will hit sub 40 this year? I don't know. I'll ask everybody, Brock, I'll call Brock and ask Brock. I don't know. Maybe 45 to 50 or 60, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think I have friends that'll buy it at 30 or 40 though. That's what they think.
Okay. Based on the TFE lawsuit, I just kind of went over with the community. sounds like you guys still don't have the keys to the kingdom yet. Like, there's still things that you guys are locked out of, social media accounts, bank accounts.
Yeah, all that stuff. That's right. That's what that. Look, if this was a smooth transition, that lawsuit never would have been filed. Okay.
Okay.
So the reason why that lawsuit was filed is the keys to the kingdom nobody has.
Right.
And Steven convinced, whoever is this guy that has the head programmer, which I don't know who the guy is that has the keys, but whoever the fucking guy that has the keys, that fucker should reach out to me. Because that guy, will be sued to Kingdom Come because, everyone's going to come after that guy. And I don't think it's Steven. I think it's an employee that's, trying to hold that hostage. And it's not his right to hold it hostage. Because there are people that put in money that pay everyone's salaries that are friends, okay? Me included, Rob included. And, if we can't get the keys to the kingdom, who's going to spend more money to make things work? Okay, an employee that was getting paid a job? No. You have to have guys that have money, investor money. So, and you can't go out there and say, oh, I'm going to hand over the keys to one of my friends. That's called theft, and fraud. So those people are all get sued and brought into this. So, someone said assets and codes. Yeah, it's like if I have if you have the password, to my to my ledger account, you would have all my crypto, and you can go liquidate it and do whatever you want. So there are passwords somewhere, to all this shit, all the servers, all the all the everything, bank accounts, information, So what Steven has done is said, I'm gonna go burn the house down because I'm the head dick in charge. And so I'm going to pretty much torch everything because I'm a little baby and a crybaby. And I'm not getting what I want, which is I want to rob.
Okay, I did not realize that this was like an hour long. Okay, going to end the stream here. Going to continue later. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Again, Ashes of Creation is screwed. Everyone who invested or put in money in this game is screwed. And right now, the founder of Ashes Creation is getting sued for, according to what I've listened to in the few videos that I've watched today, the founder is getting sued allegedly for embezzlement. That is a criminal offense. Hello guys, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.